So Frank Corralo has a field goal and 2 points so far in the game. He's accounted for 5 of the Rams' 17. He'll be teeing it up at the 35. The deep men for San Francisco, Amos Lawrence on the left-hand side of your screen, number 20, and Bill Ring in the lower right-hand corner, number 30. So San Francisco smarting now. They're down by a touchdown. And Bill Walsh, having seen his team shut out as far as touchdowns against Cleveland last week, and we'll see about the second half. Lawrence coming up to take it at the 7. To the 20, 25, 30, 35. He's broken the tackles. He's being chased by Frank Corral, and he's going to win the foot race. Amos Lawrence is even more famous.
That was really a brilliant return. He got hit several times right about the 35 or 40-yard line, fought his way through the traffic, went through the pile, came out the other end. The only one able to catch him, Corral, had no chance whatsoever. He doesn't have that kind of speed. And so Lawrence goes all the way for the touchdown to the opening kickoff of the second half. Really a fantastic run.
Got away from Joe Harris. And he broke 2 more tackles. We couldn't see the numbers.
Collins, 42, also missed the tackle. They were missed tackles, all they were, but you have to say that the fine young runner, Lawrence, did a great job of running on the play.
So Amos Lawrence, a rookie out of North Carolina, goes 92 yards on the kickoff, and with the point after, ties it at 17-17. So Amos Lawrence, who was traded by San Diego. He was in a salary dispute. So he and Fred Dean have certainly given a lot of life to this San Francisco ball club, and there he goes. That's Joe Harris coming in, trying to hook him with the left arm, and he can't do it. Here comes Leroy Irvin over from the right, had him and let him get away as he bumped into Kirk Collins, and then it's adios Amos.
The obvious thing, though, that we didn't mention is the fact that Mike Wilson clipped on the play. It was a very obvious clip that was not seen by the officials.
So it's 17-17, thanks to a 92-yard return by Amos Lawrence. Ray Wershing now will be kicking to Drew Hill. Low line drive, and Hill is going to watch it go OB, I believe, and if so, they'll have to kick it out, or is it going to be ruled going into the end zone? They're going to rule, I believe, that it went into the end zone for a touchback, and the crowd feels that the ball never did make it to the end zone and should be kicked over with a 5-yard penalty. And it's going to be a touchback, 1st and 10 on the Ram 20-yard line. And sitting here with us, his nibs, the manager of the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers, Tommy Lasorda.
How are you, Vinny?
Tommy, say hello to the good folks out there.
How are you, everybody? Nice to see you.
Not going to many banquets, are you?
Great run back. To use Vinny's expression, he escaped more times than Willie Sutton, a bank robber.
There goes Wendell Tyler inside a block by Bain, and he got out to about the 24-yard line. Craig Pookie, number 54, decked him. So it'll be a 2nd and 6. San Diego in another wild ball game, and this time they're out on top. It's 28-21 in the second quarter.
There's always a lot of fireworks on that one, and obviously there's a lot more in this game this afternoon.
2nd and 6 on the Ram 24. Denard goes wide left, and Roddy goes wide right. Pitch back to Tyler with Gooman trying to block on Turner. However, again, Pookie, number 54, was right there. Dwayne Board, number 76, and Keena Turner. There's a fella doing a good job, Craig Pookie, 2 years out of Tennessee. You know where he was born? In Deadwood, South Dakota. It's a good name. There's no Deadwood there.
But he's very active, and we mentioned earlier Reynolds was playing the weak linebacker position. Now he's playing the strong side because Pookie does such a good job of covering the inside linebacker from the weak side.
3rd and 5 on the 25-yard line for Pastorini. Pastorini will go to Tyler with Dennis Harrah trying to block for him, and he cuts across the 30, and down he goes at about the 31, and there's a flag on the play. So Red Cashin will interpret the flag for us in a moment. It is 17-17 with 13-16 left in the third quarter. What an opening act of the second half.
Number 76 on the defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Dwayne Board is guilty of the infraction. It is a first down for the Rams. They have it 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line in this 17-17 thriller. There's Dwayne Board, 3 years out of North Carolina A&T. Newman and Tyler behind Pastorini, and he wants Tyler to come up. And there's still a little raggedy offensively back there. Play action fake to Gooman, and Pastorini is throwing to Tyler, almost intercepted. That was Eric Wright diving at the ball. A lot of indecision back there, Hank.
Yes, and here again, it's hard to tell why there's that much indecision. You have to assume that there's some confusion with regard to the play selection of calling the numbers, but that's an assumption, too. You don't really know what's wrong.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 10 on the 31. The 49ers are hurting literally and figuratively. Both Lawrence Pillars and Fred Dean are banged up. Pillars came into the game with bruised ribs and Dean with a bruised sternum, and they are both hurting. They're not in there. Pastorini throwing over the left to Gooman, no good, and again Eric Wright is frustrated. The ball landed at his feet. Dean is standing up, and Pillars is now coming back, so Pillars is going to play. But Dean is staying on the sideline. It would make a big difference, I would think, in the San Francisco defense if Dean can't play anymore.
Especially, yeah, especially if the Rams decide they have to throw more than they're throwing. It doesn't really make that much difference right now because they're running so much. But on passing situations, he makes a tremendous difference.
That was Dean without the helmet on the sideline. 3rd and 10 on the Ram 31. Hankey trying to keep Board out, and the pass is dropped by Wendell Tyler, and Ronnie Lott just laid a hit on him anyway. Ronnie Lott out of USC, and of course Tyler from UCLA, so there's a natural rivalry, and they wind up in Los Angeles and San Francisco. So 4th and 10 on the 31, and Frank Corral, who does the kicking and the punting. Do you like to have a man go 2 ways like this?
No, I don't think it's a good idea, Ben. I think if you have to have a punter, you have to have a place kicker. I don't think it's a good situation to have one man do both of them, especially so if somebody gets hurt. If he gets hurt, he has 2 players.
Dwight Hicks and Freddie Solomon are deep, and it'll be Hicks at the 24. Dwight Hicks pounded by Mel Owens and finally knocked down by Joe Harris. So the first-round draft pick, Mel Owens turned him in, and Joe Harris made the tackle. And the 49ers will put it in play in the 17-17 tie with 12:50 left in the 3rd quarter. All even at 17 with 12:50 left in the 3rd quarter. Montana brings him up. He has Paul Hofer and Earl Cooper, his running back. Play action fake, and Montana looking over the middle to Cooper. And Cooper makes the reception, and they bring him down at the 37-yard line, a pickup of 6. So it'll be 2nd and 4.
You have to be impressed with Montana and his ability to know exactly where everybody is. That was a play action fake on the play, faking to the fullback and halfback, and then he winds up hitting the fullback in the middle area, Earl Cooper. But they don't make a lot, but they move the chains a little bit, pick up about 6 yards on the play.
Meanwhile, Amos Lawrence, who went 92 yards with the opening kickoff to start the 2nd half, basking in the sunshine. Earl Cooper looking for an opening, and he has found it, upended by Pat Thomas, and he goes down at the 41-yard line. That's very close to a first down. From our angle, it would appear as if he's missed it by inches, but let's see where they spot the ball. They're going to measure. Meanwhile, Dallas leading Washington 10-7 in the 3rd quarter. Miami leading the Jets 12-6. That's a big game. Miami went in 7-3. The Jets are 6-4. Buffalo won today, so they're 7-5. Did you see Buffalo's winning touchdown?
Well, you talk about a prayer, hoping a prayer. That's exactly what that was.
In the last 5 seconds.
Well, it pays to practice those kind of plays during the course of the week.
Jack Reynolds over on the sideline, one of the great students of the game. And, of course, we mentioned his 34th birthday today. So they did miss the first down by inches. It is 3rd down. Half a yard or thereabouts for Montana and company. Davis and Ring are the running backs out of the eye. First man is Johnny Davis, and the Alabaman goes across midfield to the Ram 47. Nolan Cromwell brought him down.
Okay, he's got a great start, and running straight ahead. He's very tough. He's got good leverage, good body lean, and he's hard to tackle one-on-one.
So they spot it closer to the Ram 46-yard line. So on an inches play, he bursts forth into Ram territory to make it 1st and 10.
And Clark hasn't caught a ball yet.
And Clark is on the left side, Solomon wide right, but this is Johnny Davis, and the Rams all over him, and he still picked up a few yards all on his own. So the kid out of Alabama, they got in the trade that sent James Owens to Tampa Bay. He might be quite an investment.
Yeah, he'll be very good for this team, because they need somebody big and strong to go straight ahead, and he does that very well. Cooper is more of an outside runner and a pass receiver than he is a sledgehammer back going straight ahead.
More bad news. That's Ronnie Lott getting his left ankle taped, and he was visibly shaken up and in pain. 2nd and 7 on the 43 of Los Angeles in the 17-17 tie. Hofer and Cooper stay in the block, and Montana throwing to Clark, and there's his first ball of the day, and he makes the reception for a 1st down at the Ram 20. Rod Perry took him out, the #1 wide receiver in the NFL.
Boy, did he make a great move. He was in the outside position, slot on the inside. He goes down and breaks to the outside, turned the defensive back completely around. The ball was right on the money, and he makes his first reception of the afternoon. A great play by Clark, number 87.
You know, Joe Montana had completed 62% of his passes going into this game, and he's doing better than that. He's 9 for 12 and 160 yards against a team that is #1 against the pass.
They're going to bump and run again on the right side.
And they're going to stay on the ground to Davis, and Davis is grabbed by Mike Fanning and dropped at the 25-yard line.
You know, I really think when you have a bump and run situation, you got a one-on-one, and you ought to take that as often as you possibly can. That time Montana looked like he might have been going on a quick count and couldn't change the play at the line of scrimmage, but I think any time that you have that situation, you ought to throw the ball downfield with the hope and expectation of making a big play.
Hank, we showed you Ronnie Lott a few moments ago getting that left ankle taped. He was in pain. They tell us it is a sprain, but they expect him to return. 2nd and 11, they're going to give him the forward progress to make it to 21.
They get a bump and run. Now they're backing off again.
Cooper in motion to the right, and Montana with a blitz by Leroy Irvin, and he got away from Irvin and throws no good. It might have been intercepted by Pat Thomas, but Nolan Cromwell just did get his hand and deflected it. Of course, it could also might have been caught by Earl Cooper in the end zone.
You know, I'm surprised Montana threw the ball that time. Yet there you see the blitz. Irvin coming through there. Montana scampers to the outside, and I'm really surprised he threw that ball that way, because there was a lot of blue shirts, and he normally will throw that ball out of bounds. He threw it into traffic and dodged the bullet, so to speak, because he was lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Cromwell knocking it away from Pat Thomas, also Jim Youngblood, and then the third man. It never would have gotten to Earl Cooper anyway. So it is 3rd and 11 on the 21. As you can see, the conversion ratio for San Francisco. Paul Hofer tripped up and grabbed by Leroy Irvin, and Irvin drops him at about the 17-yard line. Leroy, 2 years out of Kansas. Of course, he had a big day handling punts the last time these two teams met. So on a 4th and 7, Montana holding for Wershing, and the kick is good. And Wershing, who was already kicked one today, kicks his second. For the Rams, they went off the field leading 17-10, and somehow it's as if they lost the lead on their way to the locker room.
Yeah, Montana's calling Pennsylvania to see if their folks are watching the game, I think.
The Rams stunned on a 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Amos Lawrence and a 34-yard field goal by Ray Wershing, and the 49ers are leading 20-17. Wershing now kicking to Drew Hill from 2 yards in the end zone. Drew being chased by Bobby Leopold and finally caught by Eric Wright and Leopold as he crossed the 25 to the 27-yard line. So Drew Hill brings it out to the 27. That's a 29-yard return because he started 2 yards deep. Now you look at the leaders in defense. Philadelphia, remember, they lost today. Then you have Denver, and look at San Francisco. They give up points grudgingly.
It's amazing, especially after the way they've played defensively in the past. It's a great change in their personality.
1st and 10, Rams on the Ram 27, with Gooman and Tyler behind Pastorini and Waddy in motion to the right.
Look at all the room on the left side.
They're going to go with Gooman. And Gooman across the 30-yard line, upended by Stuckey and Reynolds. And they'll down it at the 32, so he picked up 5. Mike Gooman's had a big day, and of course he'll remember today with that left-handed touchdown pass to Preston Denard.
It's a very effective weapon, especially when you have a left-handed thrower. We had one in Curtis McClinton back in the days in Kansas City, and he threw that ball very well.
You see halftime in that flying circus, San Diego 28, Oakland 21. 2nd and 6 from the 32 for Pastorini. This time to Tyler, and Tyler tripped up and buried by Kugler, number 77. He hasn't played much. At Pete Kugler, the rookie out of Penn State.
You know, they're running a trap play with the option of running inside or outside of that block of the offensive guard, and the back has to read it. At that time, the linebacker blitzing on the play, Keenan Turner, made a big difference, and for that reason, they could not run it as efficiently as they'd like.
By the way, on a 3rd and 5, Fred Dean is back in the ball game. He and Lawrence Pillars both came in. Dean is the end on the right side, and Pillars is right next to him. Pastorini has some time, and Gooman dropped it. He was trying to catch it and run with it, but he didn't have it to run with.
That time he ran an option. I'm talking about Gooman. Option on the linebacker. He has the option to go outside or inside. He chose the inside course, and that's the open area. That middle of the San Francisco defense has been open all afternoon. There it is again. But he dropped the ball in the process, and it falls incomplete. Number 52, covering on the play, Bobby Leopold.
A little bitterness here in Anaheim for the moment, at least. The Rams, however, and the 49ers putting on a great show. 20-17 San Francisco, and Frank Corral kicks it to the right side. Fair catch by Freddie Solomon. The ball hit Ivory Sully, so Sully will down it at about the 28-yard line. It hit him right in the hip pocket. So Mike Gooman dropping what would have been a cinch 1st down to keep it alive, and now San Francisco gets it back with 6:40 left in the 3rd, leading 20-17. So it is 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 28. Montana and company leading 20-17. And Montana throwing to Cooper at the 35 in a foot race with Carl Eckern, and finally knocked out of bounds by Pat Thomas in Ram territory at the Ram 47. Eckern couldn't stay with him.
He's tough to cover coming out of the backfield. Cooper, Montana goes back into the pocket nicely. Anchors, sets up, looking, finally sees Cooper, throws the ball right out in front like you have to throw it on that kind of a play. Cooper running down the left sideline. Just outruns the defensive back and picks up a 1st down on the play.
So 1st and 10 on the Ram 47. Cooper and Hofer are the running backs behind Montana. And Montana chased by Eckern, trying to throw to Cooper, and overthrew him, but of course it was Eckern putting the heat on him that made him throw it away.
That time the tight end Young, 86, really did a good job. He made a good move on the strong safety that time and looked like he would have been open, but Montana did not see him, and for that reason threw over the top on the right side, and it goes incomplete.
You saw Jim Youngblood coming back to his position. He was one-on-one with Cooper, and there's Charles Young, of course, the tight end formerly played with the Rams. Young, originally drafted by Philadelphia, came to L.A. in the deal that sent Ron Jaworski to the Eagles. 2nd and 10 on the 47. Montana with Doss had him by the neck, and Jack Youngblood bumped him, and Reggie Doss just had him by the collar.
That was a stunt that time. The right tackle, you'll see him. Watch him go to the outside, number 71, and gets a good thrust, goes right by the offensive tackle, and gets a piece of Montana, and he falls, and it's a sack for the Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams suffering an injury to Lucius Smith, number 23, and Smith with a pinched nerve is out. He usually plays a corner behind Rod Perry. So 3rd and 16, and the ball now has moved back into San Francisco territory, and the 49ers call timeout. Bill Walsh.
One thing is very obvious with plays being sent in from the bench, you see a lot more timeouts early in the game than you ever saw them before because there's so much confusion by the signals and by the calls that are coming in from the bench.
Washington is tied up with Dallas 10-10. The Giants upset Philadelphia. They're 6-6. Detroit won a game on the road. They beat the Bears, and they're 6-6. And, of course, the Rams still playing are 5-6. Now, next Sunday, Pittsburgh knocked off Cleveland today. Will be playing the Rams. San Francisco will be playing the Philadelphia Eagle Killers, the New York Giants. That's a great doubleheader next Sunday. Montana on a 3rd and 16 from the 47. Deep to Solomon. It is intercepted by Nolan Cromwell, and they're going to call him back. Cromwell, however, made the interception at the Rams 17-yard line.
You know, he had Clark coming across the field underneath, wide open. You will maybe see him in the picture, but he's wide open coming across the middle. He did not see him, however, made up his mind that he's going to throw the ball deep down to Solomon. Cromwell was in the hole like a good free safety should be. He comes up with the interception, and it knocks the 49ers right out of an opportunity, but he just threw the ball to the wrong person.
To flesh out your remarks on the 49er receivers, Dwight Clark, who came in here with 62 receptions, has had just one ball for 23 yards.
Yes, and he would have made a big play, and of course it's a lot easier to see it up here, Ben, than it is down in the quarterback position, but he was really open coming across the middle.
All right, the Rams on a 1st and 10 from their own 18, 5:47 left in the 3rd quarter, 20-17 San Francisco. Play action fake and little screen now to Tyler, who juggles no catch. Carlton Williamson was right there, and he'd give anybody a pause to juggle the ball.
Well, you know what happens? There's a great illustration. When you throw the ball to the backs, Ben, you must throw it about a yard out in front of the numbers so he does not break stride. Watch where he throws the ball here. See? He throws it just a little bit behind it, hits him in the head, bounces off, takes him off stride. The rhythm of the play is destroyed totally, falls incomplete.
Williamson, a ferocious hitter. Last week we saw him put away Calvin Sweetie, John Stallworth, and Benny Cunningham, all of the Steelers, so he can really punch him. Gasparini with both backs releasing. And a pass picked up by Ronnie Lott, and Lott's going in for the touchdown.
Oh, what great anticipation. A beautiful play by the young rookie, Ronnie Lott. He anticipated the inside move by Waddy and got a good jump just like a center fielder does after a baseball that's hit. Got a good jump on the ball. Anticipation was great. Watching, here he comes. Picks off the intercept, makes the interception, and goes all the way in for the touchdown. Boy, what a great play by Ronnie Lott.
For Ronnie Lott, it's his 6th interception.
See, watch again. Watch Waddy. He's trying to cruise in the open area. There's a man short, a man deep. He sees the quarterback throw the ball to Waddy, gets a good jump on the ball, and makes the interception for the touchdown.
For Lott, he has 6 interceptions, and 3 of them have been for touchdowns. Wershing just keeps it going. He doesn't miss anymore. Ronnie Lott, remember just a few minutes ago, we showed you he was in obvious pain. He was getting his left ankle taped. They told us he had a sprained ankle, but he would play. Will he play? And it is 27-17 San Francisco. They've scored 20 points in 9 minutes in the 3rd quarter.
Kickoff return, 1 7-pointer, and this interception another. That's 14 points.
So as things quiet here for the moment, let's go back to New York for an NFL report, and here's Brent Musburger.
Ben, it is not quiet down in Dallas. Danny White pulls out on a double tight end formation. He'll go to Doug COSBE. 10 yards for the touchdown. Cowboys now lead the Redskins 17-10. Back to you in Anaheim.
So Dallas continues to be very difficult to beat in Dallas. And meanwhile, San Francisco trying to win too. And as you see, a study of frustration on the face of Dan Pastorini. Meanwhile, Pat Haden warming up, and that could be even more reason for concern for Pastorini. 27-17 San Francisco. And talking about concern, you have to include Ray Malavasi, Lionel Taylor, and the rest of the Los Angeles coaching staff. For Pastorini, it has been a bitter, bitter return. Tough to come back, Hank.
It really is. You know, I think realistically, Pastorini is an excellent quarterback, but I don't think he can come right back into action after being away for 2 years and take over like you did before you were out of action. And I think he's just a little rusty. That's all there is to it.
Hill decides not to bring it out, so Drew will not be drawn out of the end zone. And the Rams will put it in play. 1st and 10 on the Ram 20-yard line. Watch Haden. Yep, here he comes. He's going to replace Pastorini.
Well, it wasn't so long ago they were booing Haden. Now they cheer him.
Never changes.
No,
It never changes. They're always for the guy who's sitting on the bench. He's always better than the guy that's playing. But that's the nature of the fans, and you love them for it because they're so involved with their respective team. They get very involved, and that's why the reaction is like it is.
Well, the Rams had the ball on their own 18 following Cromwell's interception, and Lott had the interception for the touchdown. Now the Rams have it on their own 20. Waddy is in motion, and Haden is going to send it up right away to Waddy. And Ronnie Lott can't bring him down as Waddy spins out to the 28-yard line. Not quite enough for the first down. By the way, Pastorini turned ice cold. His last 8 passes were incomplete. He was 0 for 7, and then the 8th one was the interception. So I guess, is there a bottom line for a coach when you see a quarterback get cold?
It's an intuitive thing, really it is, Ben. You have to be on the sideline to understand, get a feel for what's happening. And once you feel it's time to make a change, you must make that change for the best interest of the club.
And yet, hanging over the ballpark is a Ray Malavasi quote in the aftermath of last week's game. Here's Wendell Tyler. And Tyler is out to the 40 to the 41-yard line. The line that was in the paper, the quote to Ray Malavasi, he said, "We are not going to play musical chairs with our quarterback."
Well, I think by that he meant he wasn't going to just arbitrarily change quarterbacks just to be changing them, but I think he felt, and any coach will feel, that if the quarterback who is playing at that particular time is not doing a good job, then you have to take him out and make a change, and that's what he's done.
And Pat Haden picks up the first down. We saw Haden move the ball club well against Cleveland, but it was really after the fact because the game was over then. It's still very alive here. The catch by Preston Denard. There is a flag on the play, however, to hold everything. Denard making the reception at the San Francisco 41. We're watching the Rams. They feel that the penalty is against San Francisco. And Red Cashin will inform us. Here's Denard again on that catch.
Yes, and you know, talking to Lionel Taylor yesterday out at the practice session, he talked about Denard and talked about what great feet he has and how quick they are and how well he responds to what the defensive back does. He did a good job of breaking the pattern off at the right time on the last play, and it's a big catch for the Rams.
We'll see the penalty.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 65 on the defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
So Lawrence Pillar's guilty of the infraction. It's declined naturally. And from the Ram 41, Haden hits for a first down on the San Francisco 41. It is 27-17 San Francisco. And now this thing is starting to warm up.
Yes, they're starting to get cranked up a little bit.
That's Waddy in motion to the right. And Haden decides to stay upstairs. And juggled by Waddy, and he carries it out of bounds and drops it. Carlton Williamson again right there with him.
You know what happened on that last play? He tried to catch the ball with the help of his body. He tried to catch it, trying to cradle the ball. It hit his shoulder pad that time, and anytime you hit the hard surface of the shoulder pad, the ball is going to bounce loose, and that's what happened on the last play.
Boy, there has to be smoke over there in Oakland. It's 35-21 San Diego in the third quarter. It was 28-21 at the half. So they're just starting to warm up north. 2nd and 10 on the San Francisco 41 as Haden is back in control. They'll go on the ground to Mike Gooman. Gooman got a partial block from Dennis Harrah, and he's knocked out by Keena Turner. There's a flag on the play.
There again, Denard was one-on-one on a bump and run situation on the left side with number 21 right. And I think when you see that situation, Vinny, you got to take advantage of it. He didn't evidently notice it or didn't want to change the play. But you have so many chances for big plays, and when you get a chance, you got to take advantage of it.
And the preliminary signal holding against Los Angeles. So they had it 2nd and 10 on the San Francisco 41, and that'll move it back to the Ram 49, and Red Cashin will make it official.
During the run, number 26 of the offense.
Wendell Tyler.
Second down.
So Tyler, while Gooman was running, grabbed a hold, and he was caught. 2nd and 20 on the Ram 49.
And Dean is in the game at right end.
And inside Dean is Pillars, and then you have Hardy, and you have Dwayne Board on the left side. Haden has a little bit of time now. He'll have to scamper trying to get around Hardy. Throwing on the run, juggled and dropped, and the man who had it was Saladin Martin. He had it in his hands and couldn't hold it as he took it away from Drew Hill. And Mr. Martin is a little bit hot, the 2-year man out of San Diego State.
Pat Haden is flushed out of the pocket. You see number 76 Board come into the inside. You see the pursuit, Stuckey in hot pursuit of the quarterback Pat Haden. The ball was thrown into traffic, and Martin looked like he was going to make the interception. Hardy was also putting good pressure on the quarterback.
So it is 3rd and 20 on the 49. For 1 minute from the Ram 20, Haden was on a roll. Now he has slowed down a bit. And Pat's going deep. Deep indeed to Drew Hill. And he made the reception inside the 10 at the San Francisco 8-yard line.
Boy, that thing hung up there a long time. I thought sure he was going to be picked off or either go out of bounds. But Pat Haden really put it up there nicely, right on the money. Good pass protection. He was able to step up into the pocket, throw the ball deep downfield. Drew Hill makes a great catch.
And they burned Martin, Hank. He had one get away.
Yes, look at him. He just goes down into the outside. Martin never does look back for the ball at all, never sees it. And for that reason, it goes right over the top for the completion. A beautiful throw by Pat Haden and a great catch by Drew Hill.
Good for 42 yards, and it's 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Waddy and Denard go left. Arnold, the tight end, on the right side. They're going to Tyler, who juggled the ball and is dragged down by Craig Kookie at the 5.
That was a draw play that time, and the exchange between a quarterback and the halfback was not good. It wasn't as smooth as it should have been, and but in spite of that, he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage without fumbling the football.
Ray Malavasi seeing the Rams now trying to come back following a heartbreaking interception by Ronnie Lott. Heartbreaking for the Rams and a sheer delight for San Francisco. And now the 49ers have their backs to the wall. It is 2nd and goal from the 5 for Haden. Tyler and Goonan, the running backs. Denard in motion. They're going to go to Wendell Tyler. He cuts and grabbed at the last minute by Dwight Hicks. And Hicks finally stopped him at about the 2.5-yard line.
Well, I tell you, 22, Dwight Hicks really did a good job of stuffing the play. It looked like there was a chance to get into the end zone, but he came out of no place that time. Hicks, I'm talking about, 22, and really made a great tackle.
Dwight Hicks, who is the veteran in the secondary, 3 years out of Michigan. He was originally a Detroit Lion draft choice, went to the Canadian Football League, wound up a free agent cut by Philadelphia, and he was managing a health food store when San Francisco picked him up in 1979. So 3rd and goal from the 2. And Haden on a keeper to drop back. He's got Arnold all alone. Haden doing a great job of hiding the ball.
Yes, he did. And he was the first guy there to greet him and congratulate him was Dan Pastorini. They're very good friends. And the only thing that's really important, the quarterback comes out, another one goes in. The only thing that's important really is that your team wins. And there he is coming across from the other side. There you see him, Arnold, on an end around kind of a play, and delivers the ball right on the money for the touchdown.
So now Frank Corral, who's been perfect kicking today, Pastorini huddling with Haden on the sidelines, and Corral kicks it through. So we have 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. San Francisco 27 and the Rams fighting for their lives 24. Remember, the Rams battling for wild card berth came in here 5 and 6. That's the same record as Atlanta. Atlanta plays Minnesota tomorrow night. San Francisco was hoping to win today and have Atlanta lose tomorrow night, and San Francisco could clinch it.
Boy, you had to be impressed with that drive that time. And again, it's very obvious. Last week, Pat Haden came into the game, and he was very smooth, and it looked like the team got a lift with his presence. Of course, the game was over when he got into the game, so you had to consider that, but the same thing happened here. There was a spark, there was a flash. When he came into the game, he executed extremely well, and it looks like they perform a lot more efficiently, and justifiably so. He's been around here for a long time, knows the system, knows what has to be done, and he's doing everything with a lot more precision than Pastorini did during the time he was in the game, and that's understandable because, again, he hasn't been with the club that long.
Lawrence Pillars, who's playing with bruised ribs, no doubt having trouble breathing. The big guy is playing, however. And Walt Arnold, who caught his second touchdown pass of the year. The tight end wound up all alone. Great deception by Pat Haden. So it is 27-24 San Francisco with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the third quarter. And Frank Corral prepares to tee it up at the 35. To repeat, the 49ers have not beaten the Rams twice in a year since 1965. They've beaten them already 20-17, and they lead them 27-24.
This game's a long way from being over. There's going to be a lot of fireworks before this thing ends.
The Corral kicking and fielding it is Amos Lawrence. Remember, he went 92 at the opening second half kickoff. This time, Amos at the 20, and he's going to stay there. One of the many Blues who hit him is number 97, and that's a kid named Bob Cobb. And the crowd cheering for Bob Cobb. He is a human interest story, a kid who was a victim of cocaine when he was at Arizona. And he has been rehabilitated, and it's nice to put the spotlight on him for the moment. He has beaten his problem, and he's playing, and he made the tackle. Next weekend, NCAA basketball, Georgia, San Francisco, right here, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 o'clock Pacific. First and 10, there's Bob Cobb. He's a big kid, only 24, out of Arizona. Montana now going over the left, in the air, picked off by Carl Eckern. Flags on the play. Eckern is down to the 15-yard line, and there are 2 flags thrown in the area of the pass.
It looks like it might be against the Rams. Looks like pushing that part of the Rams.
So Eckern has it picked off, but it's taken away from him.
And they're trying to throw the ball to Clark, who's delayed, coming over from a tight end position, coming across the field. There you see him. He stops. The ball is thrown. Thomas comes in with the left hand, but you can't tell where the right hand was. It might be that he pushed with the right hand, and that's why they call pass interference on the play.
So Carl Eckern has an interception nullified, and to add insult to the injury, it is a first down. The ball is now out at the 27-yard line of San Francisco. Solomon is right, and Clark is left. They're going to stay to Lawrence, and Amos Lawrence is out to the 34-yard line before Eckern can bring him down.
You know, one thing is very important, and that is to be unpredictable as far as your play selection is concerned. Bill Walsh calls the plays from the sideline. He is not a predictable play caller. He keeps you off balance with the run and the pass, and there was a great illustration of it. I think they were kind of anticipating a throw. They ran inside, and now it's 2nd and 3.
2nd and 3, the ball on the San Francisco 34-yard line. Solomon right, and Charles Young is the wide receiver on the left side. Amos Lawrence trying to cut back, got away from 2 men and brought it back out to the 36. He got away from Mike Fanning and Jack Youngblood. They had him for a 5-yard loss.
Yes, he was very lucky not to lose yardage on the play. He stretched the loss into a gain by coming inside and trying to get as much out of the play as he possibly could.
So it's 3rd and 1. The ball is out on the San Francisco 36-yard line. What kind of a latitude does Montana have once the play is called by Walsh?
He'll stay with the play unless he feels that the play is not a good one against the defense, and he has the option to change the play at the line of scrimmage anytime he doesn't think the play sent in is a good one.
Solomon in motion, 3rd and 1. Play action fake to Cooper. Montana to Solomon all alone. Nolan Cromwell rides him out of bounds at the 41-yard line and make it the 39-yard line of Los Angeles. Great play action fake.
Yeah, there's another illustration, you see, of being unpredictable. They fake inside. They send Solomon in motion across the backfield. He's out by himself, one-on-one, and he's finally tackled by Cromwell, but they put a lot of pressure on the defense. He fights his way through traffic, coming across from the left side of the field to the right side, and it's a big play for the San Francisco 49ers.
They pick up 25 yards on the play, so it's 1st and 10 on the Ram 39-yard line. 13 seconds left in the third quarter. Flip to Cooper, and Cooper grabbed by Jack Youngblood and Jim Youngblood. So that'll make it maybe a loss of a yard or so, and we are running down to the end of the third quarter. And that officially is the end of the third quarter with the score, San Francisco 27, the Los Angeles Rams 24. We'll be back with the start of the fourth quarter after this word from your local station and the smoke has chance to clear.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota, who invite you to see all the 1982 Toyota cars and trucks at your local dealer. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. And by Lowenbrau. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau.
Here you go.
As we start the fourth quarter, San Francisco 27, the Rams 24, and the 49ers have it 2nd and 11 on the Ram 40-yard line. Meanwhile, it's getting wilder up north. Kellen Winslow having a big day. Caught 4 touchdown passes for San Diego. Montana getting protection over the middle, leading Paul Hofer nicely. And the ball is loose out of Hofer's hands. Picked up by Joe Harris. Harris is going to be grabbed by Cooper at the 10-yard line, but the Rams have recovered the football when it flew out of Paul Hofer's hands.
You couldn't tell whether the tackler popped it out of there, trying to intentionally knock it out of there, or whether he just lost the ball. Let's take a look here. Good protection. Montana has a lot of time to throw the ball there. You see Hofer making the catch. Yeah, he was knocked out from the backside. A beautiful play by Irvin, number 47, punched it right out of there. Really a good, accurate shot on Hofer.
So the Rams have a chance. Coming back. Vin Scully along with Hank Stram. It's San Francisco 27 and the Rams 24. That's the first time in 5 games, 5 consecutive games, that the 49ers have lost a fumble. Preston Denard is in motion, and Haden to Tyler. And Tyler stumbled and will pay the penalty for it. Whatever happened to Tyler, he seemed to trip, and that broke the momentum of the play as he tried to build it.
Here again, they keep running that play, especially on first down. It's an option play. It's a trap with the right guard or right tackle trapping on the play, and the runner has the option of going inside or outside of that block. There was a little indecision on the play, and that's why he was a little slow getting upfield and slipped and fell on the play.
So it's just about the same distance, 2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line. Haden quickly throwing away, intended for Billy Waddy. Both Ronnie Lott and Carlton Williamson were over there. Miami leading the Jets 12-9, and of course the big story there, what about Richard Todd? Did he play at all or didn't he? And if not, the man who replaced him will be playing his first NFL game. We'll keep tabs on that one for you. Dallas continues to hold on. They broke the 10-10 tie. Dallas leading 17-10 in the fourth quarter, and of course they're not accustomed to losing at home. There are the numbers so far. You can see the difference in rushing, and then passing. San Francisco has the edge. Haden quickly to Grumman, and they stack him up. So they're unable to move the ball at all on the ground in this series.
Well, that was worth the gamble. They were trying to pop a play up the middle in a trap. It looked like the middle was open. And sometimes, you know, that's going to work, and sometimes it isn't. But you slow down the rush in the process of calling that kind of a play, even though they don't succeed in making the necessary yardage. And there's really very little risk on that kind of a call.
By the way, we get a footnote to that Jets game. We told you the big question, what about Richard Todd? And the word is, despite having a fractured rib, Richard Todd has played the entire game. Meanwhile, Fred Dean shaken up. Dean slowly getting up. He's been banged up. Remember last week he bruised his sternum right in the middle of the chest. However, he played today. He was hurt earlier, but he's been right back on the field until this very moment. So Frank Corral will be punting from the end zone. Dwight Hicks and Freddie Solomon, twin safeties at the San Francisco 40. And Carl Eckern is the blocking fullback, trying to keep people away from Corral.
one thing is very important here. They must not let the ball bounce. They have to signal for the fair catch and make sure they have good field position.
Ray Solomon makes the fair catch at the 40-yard line, and that's where San Francisco will put it in play. So we have 13 minutes and 42 seconds left in the ball game. There's a flag on that punt. So let's wait for the interpretation again from Red Cashin.
There is no foul. It'll be picked up 1st and 10.
Okay, Red, anything you say. With 13:42 left in the game, timeout on the field. San Francisco 27. The Los Angeles Rams 24, and the 49ers have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 41. We have 13:42 left in the game. 1st and 10 San Francisco on their own 41-yard line. And it's the second man, Paul Hofer, and he gets up to about the 45-yard line. Jim Youngblood brought him down. You know, Hank, in watching Bill Walsh send in plays, everything else in football is practice. Do they practice a coach, let's say, during the week sending in plays?
Yeah, they send in the plays exactly the same way as they do during the course of the game to make sure their efficiency is the same. And, of course, sometimes you call plays. I called a play one time. We had a guy named Bo Dickinson, and I called a 52 Papio, and he said, boy, that burns my back. And I said, what? He said, a fire about that high.
2nd and 6 on the 45. Here's Paul Hofer. He has Ayers and Davis blocking for him, but George Andrews pulls him down from behind at the 47-yard line. Andrews, a 3-year man out of Nebraska. So he'll be coming out now. Joe Harris and Leroy Irvin coming in, and Eckern and Andrews come out on a 3rd and 4 with the ball almost on the San Francisco 47. You can see Montana's numbers.
You know, I watch Clark, and it reminds me so much of the great receiver we had in the early days of our history in Dallas and Kansas City, Chris Burford.
3rd and 4 on the 47. Montana blooping it. What a catch by Paul Hofer. Brought down by Jim Youngblood at the Ram 45. That's a Willie Mays play. One-handed going away.
And without a glove, boy, what a sensational catch. And, of course, a good release. There you see Irvin blitzing on the play, 47. He knew exactly. There's another illustration of being aware. He delivered the ball right out in front. Hofer made a beautiful, sensational catch and a big play for the 49ers.
Paul Hofer, hard-nosed player, 6 years out of Mississippi. He has done some great work for the 49ers since they drafted him in '76. 1st and 10 on the Ram 45. Montana faking left, rolling right, now throwing at the last moment, incomplete. He took a punishing hit from Johnny Johnson, and Johnson is guilty, apparently, of the infraction. Yep. And Malavasi's furious. A late hit charged against Johnny Johnson.
Here we see Johnson blitzing on the play. With the official stand, it looked like it was hard for him to stop his progress.
And look at Ray Malavasi. He wants to talk to the official. He's saying, you come over here.
You're going to have to call him on a telephone call long distance because he's not going to get close to talk to him.
1st down.
So roughing the passer, charge against Johnny Johnson. You be the judge.
Here we see it here again, but you can't tell the official. Say Johnson is between the quarterback and the official. We don't see really what took place as far as his leaping for the quarterback, but he calls it. 1st down.
1st and 10 on the Ram 30-yard line. Montana giving to Ricky Patton. We haven't seen him since early in the 1st half, and Patton is inside the 30 to the 29. And wait a minute. The Rams and Johnny Johnson has drawn some more flags.
That time it was Schumann, number 84, and Johnson getting into a tussle.
So Johnny Johnson first called.
Face mask, number 20 on the defense.
So roughing the passer followed by a face mask penalty. 2 in a row against Johnny Johnson, who is beside himself. The #1 draft choice in 1980 from Texas. And down on the field, Randy Cross, number 51. The UCLA man shaken up. So this is really moving the ball. It started on the San Francisco 41, and now they have the ball on the Ram 15.
Well, those kind of mistakes really hurt you. As one thing for the offense to move the ball because they do a good job efficiently. But it's another thing to give them that kind of yardage in a critical situation.
So San Francisco leading the Rams 27-24, 11:35 left. And we'll see Johnny Johnson. It looks like he's going to leave his feet almost. So that's a real tough call.
Yes, it really is. The only thing that you have to wonder about, the official is right there on the scene. It's a judgment call, and he obviously thought it was a late hit.
1st and 10 on the Ram 15-yard line. Johnny Davis powering over the right side. And the Rams stack him up at about the 14-yard line. Jim Youngblood with a bear hug on him. Randy Cross, you saw him down on the field earlier in pain, twisted his back, and it is questionable, it is doubtful that he'll be back in the game. Randy Cross. So 2nd and 9 on the Ram 14. 27-24 San Francisco.
Well, you got bump and run on the outside receivers again. You got to take a shot at that. Now they're going to do it again.
Nope, and Ricky Patton takes a shot from Joe Harris and Reggie Doss. Down he goes right at the 15-yard line. Leroy Irvin made it official. A troika. So he loses a yard on that play. That makes it 3rd and 10 at the 15. Remember, they had 1st and 10. Of course, Ray Wersching has been perfect, and he is standing in the tall weeds just ready to be called in.
You know, I can't understand why they don't throw the ball outside to Clark. He's got Rod Perry. Clark is 6'4", Perry is 5'9". They're 1 for 1 in a bump and run situation. It was certainly, you would certainly think we can maybe get a good chance to get a big play.
Montana looking for the big play. Passing to Clark, broken up by Rod Perry. Rod Perry made a great play.
The ball was thrown a little bit too short. Had it been thrown a little bit longer, it'd have been 6 points. Watch him. See, he runs right by Perry. And again, there's a big difference in size, 6'4", 5'9", but the ball is thrown behind instead of in front, and that's the reason the ball was deflected by Rod Perry.
And of course, the crowd here in Anaheim is somewhat relieved. Even if Wersching kicks it, then the San Francisco lead will only be 6 points, which means a touchdown and point, and they can be passed instead of just caught. But Wersching with Joe Montana holding at the 22. Do you like your quarterbacks to hold?
Yes, if he's the best holder, he has to be the guy that holds the ball. We had Dawson holding for us, but I think you have to have the best guys doing what they do best for the kicker, and that's why they do it here, I'm sure.
So with Montana holding, Wersching kicks it through. San Francisco leading by 6. San Francisco 30 and the Rams 24. The 49ers picked up 30 yards in penalties against the Rams' Johnny Johnson. Now Drew Hill trying to break one. And Wersching kicks one, bobble at the 5. Drew now to the 10. Boxed in by Bill Ring and dragged down by number 30, Bill Ring. Boy, that was some kick by Wersching. It looked like a gyroscope that had gone crazy.
Yeah, it looked like one of those super balls, you know, that went right down. Looked like it was a frozen rope kick. Got down there very quickly, and normally that kind of a kick, you ought to be able to return for good yardage because it gets down there so quickly, but there was a fumble on the play, and he barely brings it back to the 10.
Bill Ring, who was originally a free agent cut by Pittsburgh, and San Francisco picked him up. Ring, 1 year out of BYU, made a big play. So the Rams deep in their own territory, 1st and 10 on the 10. Tyler and Gooman. In motion is Denard, picked up by Ronnie Lott. And Haden was throwing to Gooman, and the big man is knocked out by Carlton Williamson at the 16-yard line. So they picked up 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
You know, talking to Taylor again yesterday at practice, he talked about Denard and talked about his great stamina. Says that he has a great capacity to be as efficient in the 4th quarter as he is in the 1st quarter because he's in such excellent condition.
So it is 2nd and 4 on the Rams 16, 9:54 left. So we got a lot of time for a lot of football. Tyler, the deep back. And they'll go to Tyler. And Tyler takes a hard hit by Jack Reynolds at the 20-yard line. Reynolds ruts him down, and then Dwayne Board decides to get the feeling of the football. There's a little comparison with Pastorini 8 for 18, 79 yards, a touchdown, and a killer interception. Haden 5 for 8, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Of course, the difference is that the time of the game and the complexion of the game when you start comparing numbers.
Yes, that's right. It's always a very difficult thing to do, although, and I hate to belabor the point, but again, I think Pat Haden, being with the club for such an extended period of time, knows the system so much better than Pastorini, which is obvious, and it makes a difference in the way they function, and I think he's a little bit more sure of what he's calling and where people are going to be because of the long relationship he's had with the receivers and the backs.
We told you that Jack Reynolds laid a tough hit on Wendell Tyler, and he was bow-legged and wobbly as Tyler came off the field, so Reynolds really drilled him. Cullen Bryant is in there now with Mike Gooman, so the Rams have lost a big threat at running back, at least for the moment. Arnold in motion, and Haden goes in the air. Can't find anybody. So Haden is the running back. And down he goes, hit by Ronnie Lott's helmet, and Jack Reynolds went over him. And Haden got it out to the 30. He needs less than a yard for a first down.
Here we see Patrick going back in the pocket. Good protection. You have to be very careful that the linemen do not get too much, permit the defensive people to get too much depth. He did. It slides into inside and slides into second base there for the close to the first down.
He was trying to get away from Reynolds, and he took a punishing helmet right into the head by Ronnie Lott. 2nd and 1 on the 29-yard line. Here's Mike Gooman. Gooman got away from Lott, got away from everybody, and finally Hicks and Wright grab him at the 37-yard line, and the big guy still won't go down, and it's a first down.
Okay, Gooman should have been stopped in the backfield that time. It certainly shouldn't have been any kind of a gain, but he jumped to the outside, ran right through 2 defensive people, watched the missed tackles, 3 defensive people, and was determined to make the first down, was finally tackled by number 22, Dwight Hicks, but it was a super effort on the part of Gooman.
So they're spotted at the 37 where it's 1st and 10. The Rams, starting on their own 10, have moved it out now, and Wendell Tyler is back in there. Drew Hill and Billy Waddy go right, Denard goes left, and now you have Drew Hill in motion. And everybody releases. Haden throwing to Denard, and he's grabbed by Jack Reynolds. So Reynolds grabbed him like a birthday present, and that's just what he's celebrating today, and brought him down as he came back. Denard's 4th catch of the day, but there's Hacksaw.
People just take that kind of a play for granted, but that was a great play by Reynolds, number 64. And here we see Miami 15-9 over the New York Jets in the 4th quarter.
There's only a minute and 12 seconds left in that game. So 2nd and 8 on the 39. Again, Hill and Waddy split, so Tyler all alone in the backfield. And Haden over the middle of Tyler to the 40-yard line. Hit by Dwight Hicks and down at the 36. But there's a flag on the play. Holding against the Rams. And wait till they hear that in the stadium.
You know, that's a really tough call because he got rid of the ball quickly, throwing the ball to the back over the middle. You shouldn't have to hold on that kind of a play, but there was holding, obviously, on the part of the Los Angeles Rams, and the ball will be called back and a penalty assessed against the Rams.
Well, Tyler had it to the San Francisco 36.
Holding, number 60 on the offense.
That's
Still
Dennis
second
Harrah.
down.
A bitter call. That's a tough time to get your name called out.
Yeah, watch him. Here we see Harrah, number 60. Oh, you see the arm lock. He's got a wide stance and tries to get 2 of them. One with one arm, one with the other.
He had pillars coming on the inside, and coming around him was Dwayne Board. So he tried to hold them both out, and they got caught. 2nd and 18 on the Ram 29. Mike Gooman is the sole running back, and he leaves, so Hayden's on his own. And he's going to be dragged down by Jim Stuckey at the 30-yard line.
The Rams have to somehow get the ball in the middle area. Every time they've thrown the ball in the middle, it's been a big play. A couple have been called back. One has been dropped, but that's where you have to throw the ball against the San Francisco 49ers, the way they're covering. They're not too concerned about the tight end Of course, he is in the game now because they're playing with 3 wide receivers, but they're very concerned about not giving the big play to the outside people, and for that reason, the inside area is very vulnerable.
3rd and 17 on the 30-yard line. Waddy comes left, and Drew Hill goes right. Big play now for Haden. 6:17 left in the game. And Haden setting up, throwing, and he has his man, Preston Denard at midfield. First down, Los Angeles. What a play by Haden and Denard.
Yes, a good adjustment on his part, but here again, he got him into the middle area, and that's what's vulnerable. Pat Haden does a good job, good pass protection. He jumps up into the pocket, knows where the line of scrimmage is, delivers the ball. There you see it, right on the money.
Almost triple coverage there, Hank.
Yes, there are a lot of folks there once he decided to throw the ball inside, but he made the catch. And that's what happens if you're going to throw the ball in the middle. Then you have to throw it at the numbers below the shoulder pads. You throw it above there, you're in trouble.
Haden is 7 for 10, 101 yards. 1st and 10 at midfield. Second man, Wendell Tyler, and they'll swallow him up after about a 2 or 3 yard game. Time left in the game, 5:18.
San Francisco is doing a good job of concealing their coverages. It looks like sometimes they're going to be on bump and run on the outside, meaning that the quarter people are right on top of the receivers, and then all of a sudden the safety men come over and have double coverage, and so it's a hard thing for the quarterback to read, and he has to do a good job of calling the right play against the particular defense that he sees.
Tyler has rushed for 94 yards so far today, and they're going to go to Gooman with Hara blocking for him, and Gooman is across the 45 and is dropped at the 44. Ronnie Lott along with Lawrence Pillars and Saladin Martin brought him down. Well, it was a big 3rd and 17 when Haden connected with Denard. Now he has a tough 3rd and 4. The ball is on the San Francisco 44s. He tries to keep this drive alive. Remember, it began on the Ram 10-yard line.
He's got to play this. He's got to take 2 downs here. He's got 2 downs to make 4 yards, really. And I think that's what he has to be thinking.
Tyler and Gooman are split behind Haden. And he's going to pass. Over the middle, great reception by Tyler. I don't know how he caught it. Dwight Hicks, number 22, just couldn't get down there to get it.
But that's the spot. He hit him in the middle area that time again. Watch it, and you see the opening in the middle. There you see Tyler. I don't know how he caught the ball either. He was low and out in front, but he made the catch, and that's the only thing that's really important.
So Tyler has carried for 94 yards, and he has also caught 4 for 39 yards. And with 3:36 left, it's 30-24 San Francisco, and the Rams on the hunt for the TD. Colin Bryant is in there with Tyler. Play action fake to Tyler, who stays in the block. And the pass is no good. Denard being defended by Eric Wright.
Well, you couldn't tell who that was thrown to, whether the tight end Arnold or Denard coming across. It was a progression pattern, and by that I mean you have one man short, you have one man a little deeper, and another one way deep. And he was trying to throw the ball to Denard, it looked like, but it didn't look like Denard realized that the ball was for him.
We get a big bulletin. Richard Todd has just thrown a 12-yard touchdown pass to Jerome Barkham, and the Jets are leading Miami 16-15 with 16 seconds of the 4th quarter. How about that one? All right, 2nd and 10 on the 37. The Rams started on their own 10.
Look at the bump and run on the outside. I'd get the ball outside to one of those 2 outside receivers. He's changing the play. Let's see what he does. There it is.
And he's going to go the other way. What a reception by Drew Hill. And he couldn't hold on to it. There's a flag on the play. Hill trying to make that one-hand catch that we saw Paul Hofer make. He couldn't do it, but there's a flag, and it's going to be offsides against San Francisco, I believe.
And boy, on the right side, did you see how open Waddy was? He went to the inside, broke outside, had his defensive back licked, but he went to the left side, and it would have been a sensational catch had he been able to make the reception.
It'll be 2nd and 5. You take another look at that great attempt by Drew Hill.
Offsides.
And he had him licked.
Had it in his hand and couldn't hold it.
Still 2nd down.
So 2nd and 5, Hank, on the 32 with 3:13 left. And 6 points separating them.
Yeah, you got a lot of time. You have to do what they give you, take what they give you. You have to be patient. But 13 in the game is a long time to function.
2nd and 5 on the 32. Waddy is in motion to the right. They'll go to Wendell Tyler, and this time he's sealed off at the pass by guess who? The birthday boy, Jack Reynolds.
Boy, he is something. He is really something. I'm talking about Reynolds.
You know, a question, Hank, as we look at this play. In baseball, if you trade a player, why, you then have to perhaps change your signs. He's too well aware of the workings of your club. Does that apply in football?
No, I really don't think it does. They're so involved in concentrating on what their keys are and what they have to get done that particular aspect of it is not that really important.
3rd and 4 on the 31-yard line. Haden faced with another tough call. And he has Denard and Waddy right. He has Miller left. Bryant and Tyler, the running backs, and it's Tyler bumping at the 30-yard line, so he didn't get it. Tyler stacked up. He has to get to about the 27. Well, he might have gained a yard if they give him the forward progress, and that's all. He was met head on, and among others, you can't say enough for Lawrence Pillars, number 65. We know he's playing with bruised ribs. We know that Pillars was shaken up, but he's back in there. And of course, so is Fred Dean, another man who's been banged up. Those two hurting, and no doubt painful chest injuries, having tough time just breathing.
Well, you know, this time of the season, there's a lot of players in the league who are playing with a lot of hurts, especially when they're still involved in a race and have a chance to get that big ring.
So it is 4th and 3, and Pat Haden huddling now. You know, an interesting note, the entire 49er team has rushed for 63 yards, and we're talking about 5 running backs. Wendell Tyler alone has rushed for 96 yards. But as they say on Broadway, how'd you come out? And it's 30-24 San Francisco.
Just look at the scoreboard. That's the only thing that really matters.
And a big win for the New York Jets. We understand a final score. The Jets beat Miami 16-15. Ah, tonight, one of the most beautiful movies ever made. Mary Poppins. And of course, they start with up to the minute 60 minutes. So what an evening here on CBS tonight. Pull up a chair and plan to spend the evening. I know I will. 60 minutes and then Mary Poppins. You'll learn how to spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious all over again. There's 2 minutes and 16 seconds left, Hank, and the Rams called a timeout. Had they let the 16 seconds run down, they would have had a free one.
Well, no, not this way. They get an extra one at the 2-minute mark. That was a very wise decision.
Okay, 4th and 3 in the 30.
Look at the right outside.
Well, they have Gilbert, a tight end, on the right side in there now.
Here's Gooman.
Drop, throwing to Gooman at the 20-yard line. Dwight Hicks brings him down at the 17. First down, Los Angeles, and we're coming to the 2-minute mark right now.
See, that was a good timeout. That really was, because now they have time to regroup with a 2-minute left in the contest, and he delivers the ball beautifully to Mike Gooman for the first down.
So the San Francisco 16, and this thing is really winding down. It is 30-24 San Fran.
21 seconds to play in Shea Stadium. Richard Todd pulls out. He's got Jerome Barkham. He's tied, and the extra point is good. And the Jets come from behind to beat Miami 16-15. And let's go back to Vin Scully in Anaheim.
Well, we got that kind of a moment building here. The Rams, trailing by 6, have the ball 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 16-yard line. And while it's calm, remember, San Francisco had it 1st and 10 on the Ram 15 and could walk away with only 3.
You know, going back to the Jet game, I think that's the 8th game that the Jets and Miami have played with the Jets winning 7 and tying 1.
1st and 10 from the 16. Haden with time, throwing in the end zone. Flag on the play. Walt Arnold, the intended receiver. Willie Harper, the linebacker, I believe, is guilty of pass interference, and the Rams will have it with Arnold down on his back. Willie Harper was back there with him, and evidently guilty of the infraction. 15 yards on that.
Okay, they want to tell you something. There was very good coverage.
Number 59.
Very good coverage on the play. But as you see, Harper inadvertently got a piece of the tight end, and pass interference is called. The ball is now on the 1-yard line.
And Walt Arnold evidently shaken up, but okay. And the Rams, with 1 minute and 54 seconds, have a 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. Pat Haden has come to the sidelines. He wants to talk to Lionel Taylor, while Ray Malavasi talks to a couple of tight ends, Battle and Gilbert. And now Malavasi talking to his quarterback. It has been a wonderful game in this great rivalry. The Rams, you know, have won most of the meetings 41-20, but the 49ers coming on strong. The Rams haven't lost here at home since 1976 to San Francisco. They're down by 6, but now they have it 1st and goal at the 1.
You know, you have to give Pat Haden a lot of credit to be able to come into a game like this and take charge and make something happen. That's exactly what he's done. Sometimes a quarterback, when he's been benched, sits around and pouts and feels sorry for himself and then winds up with a bad attitude, but that's not the case with him. But both Pastorini and Haden are good friends. They're both pulling for each other to do a good job, and Haden has certainly done a remarkable job here this afternoon.
Well, let's see. What does he got to work with? He has his running backs, Mike Gooman and Wendell Tyler. He has Ron Battle and Cullen Bryant. Well, let's see. This should be an interesting formation. Gooman, Tyler, and Bryant are all in there. So a full house backfield. Bill Bain is now on the left side, and Ron Battle is a tight end on the right side. And with all of that, Tyler scores.
They had all the heavy hitters. They wanted to make sure they got enough punch up front with the big, strong people. They were not trying to fool anybody. They were just going to line up and get a good surge off the line of scrimmage. They did exactly that from a cockeye formation. I call it cockeye. You got a fullback, a halfback, and a halfback on the left side to give you the extra blocking angle. But they pump it right in there for the touchdown.
So it's 30-30 with 1 minute and 51 seconds left, and you can see Tyler following the board right there. Cullen Bryant taking on Fred Dean. And meanwhile, Tyler exploding through. So 30-30, and Hank Corral trying to give the Rams a lead. We still have a lot of time.
Yes, that's right. Especially the way these teams function in the 2-minute offense. There's still a lot of time left for a lot of things to happen with 1:51 left in the game.
Nolan Cromwell holding. The kick is good. The Rams 31, San Francisco 30. We have 1 minute and 51 seconds left in the game. The Rams went from their own 10-yard line to score, undismayed by the penalty that ruined a big gainer on a pass to Wendell Tyler. They still went back to work and punched it over.
Here you see Pat Haden handing off to Wendell Tyler from a cockeye position. You see Bryant leading the play. There's a good seam. Bryant out in front, gets a piece of the defensive end. And they go in for the touchdown. It puts them ahead after they kick the extra point, 31-30, with 1:51 left in this contest, and there's still a lot of time with 1:51 left.
I should say there is, especially with such talent as on that San Francisco Tide, with Joe Montana throwing to, among other people, Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark. There's Wendell Tyler having a brilliant day as he finally gets the Rams out in front.
And San Francisco has 2 timeouts, and the Rams have 1.
Amos Lawrence and Bill Ring are standing on the goal line. Remember, Lawrence broke the kickoff starting the second half, 92 yards for a touchdown.
If you're not careful, you really have to do a good job of covering this kick. Sometimes you're so joyous and happy that you went ahead that you relax a little bit on the coverage, and then you wind up with big trouble with good field position on the part of the opposition. They have to do a good job of covering this kick.
Well, we'll see Corral now. Right next to Corral is the rookie Mel Owens, and on the other side, Lewis Gilman, and here they come. And again, one of those squirrely kicks, and it goes right through the legs of Amos Lawrence. He didn't touch the ball. He'll be down by Bill Ring, but no return. So with 1 minute and 51 left in the game, San Francisco will put it in play 1st and 10 on the 20, and I still don't know how Corral kicks it that way.
Well, he tries to kick it a little higher on the football, right above the middle, to make sure it doesn't get up in the air. He wants them to try to feel the ball on the run while they're rolling on the ground. It's a very effective way to do it, but he had a lot of stuff on the ball that time.
Yeah, it goes through the air like a gyroscope with the nose down. Wendell Tyler resting now. He's had his big moment. Frank Corral can rest for the moment, and it's up to San Francisco. 1st and 10 from the 20. Hofer and Cooper are the running backs, and Montana's going upstairs. Got away from Youngblood. Throws to Charlie Young, and he's stacked up by Rod Perry. Perry takes him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So they pick up 4, and it's 2nd and 6. As you can see, 1:43 left.
The Rams are going to play very strong on the outside and probably give, if any, they're going to do anything efficiently, they're going to have to throw the ball to the tight end and one of the backs because of the way the Rams are playing on defense.
A look of pain on Bill Walsh's face. 2nd and 6 on the San Francisco 24. Wilson is wide left, Solomon wide right. Clark is on the left side. And Clark going over the middle, but they throw instead to Cooper, and Jim Youngblood drags him out of bounds, and he went out at the 28-yard line, and he needs to get to the 30 for the first down. What's the strategy here, Hank? Go for just position for a field goal?
Yes, I think so. I think they're going to try to be very careful, not to make a mistake, not to cough up the football, not to throw an interception. They have enough time to just move the ball down the field. All they need is a field goal, and that's the way they're going to play it, unless they get some kind of a blitz, and then we'll have a chance to go for the big play. But the way they're playing it, they're going to be content to travel slowly and move the ball and move the chains down the field.
Wersching has already kicked one today, 47 yards. His longest this year, 48. So 3rd and 1 from the 29. And Montana to Paul Hofer, and Hofer got the first down. He got away, had Joe Harris bumped him behind the line of scrimmage, and Hofer bounced off him to pick up the first down. 1:23, and we'll keep that time cooking.
And again, San Francisco has 2 timeouts.
Montana looking right and throwing right to Cooper, and he's going to get to the 40-yard line. Finally decked by Pat Thomas, and he carried across the 40. They're going to give him a couple of more to stop the clock at about the 43-yard line. That's about a half a yard shy of a first down with 1:09 left. Montana has taken a couple of big bites.
Yeah, you know, I'm surprised that the Rams do not play tough double coverage on the outside to make them throw the ball inside so they can't stop the clock without using a timeout. That's what's happened on the last 2 plays. They haven't had to use their timeouts. If you make them throw inside, they would have to use a timeout.
2nd and 1 on the San Francisco 42. 1:09 left in the game. Montana lobbing it and leading Clark too much. Leroy Irvin was right there. Clark trying to make a fingertip catch and couldn't quite do it. So it'll be 3rd and 1 on the 42. Clock stopping with 1:06 left. To repeat, Rams 31, San Francisco 30.
Well, the 49ers really do a good job of spraying the ball around, getting it to different people, and a possession kind of a play where they catch the ball maybe for a 5 or 6 yard gain and then run. You have to be able to run well with this offense, and all these people do a good job of that.
All right, 3rd and 1 on the San Francisco 42. Montana looking for more than one. Lobbing it out of bounds, intended for Freddie Solomon. And now suddenly he's down to 4th down when he had it 2nd and 1.
I'm surprised at that pattern. That was unusual in that looked like he only had 1 man out on the play, trying to get the ball deep downfield when he only needed a yard. You would think maybe that he would try to get the ball to one of the backs or somebody in close enough just to get the first down on the play.
And remember, the 49ers have had season-long difficulties moving the ball on the ground. Their average of 3 yards per carry is the lowest in the NFL. One reason why they're throwing the ball 2nd and 1.
Yeah, the best thing they do is throw the ball. I'm sure they're going to throw it here on 4th and 1.
4th and 1, unless Montana might decide to try and sneak. Let's see, with a minute left. Montana to Hofer, and Hofer made the first down, I believe. It will now be a measurement. There's the time left, 55 seconds. It looked like Hofer had carried across the area needed to pick up the first down, but it always depends on where they spot the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, of course, Hofer is such a dependable, steady guy. Somehow, some way, he's going to make something happen and make the yardage. The middle was open. It's going to be close.
Yeah. From up here, and of course our angle is at a severe angle to the field.
It looks like he made it.
Yeah, I think so too, but they're going to measure it.
Yeah, that's all important. With 55 seconds left, a big measurement. The 49ers feel they made it. But that doesn't mean anything until the Zebras do. Yeah, they made it.
Yeah, they made it by a large margin. I didn't think they made it by that much.
So it is 1st and 10, and Ray Wershing, who might be called on, is waiting in the wing. 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 44. Montana looking left, flowing over the middle, and he's got Dwight Clark at about the 48-yard line. The tackle by Ivory Sully, and immediately a timeout by San Francisco, stopping the clock with 42 seconds left.
Good thing on the part of the Rams. They made him throw the ball inside so they would make him use that timeout, and that's what happened on the last play.
So it'll be a 2nd and 6. Now remember, the Giants beat Philadelphia today. What a shocking upset, 20-10. And next week, Pittsburgh, who took care of Cleveland, will meet the Rams. And the Giants will go against San Francisco at San Francisco. The prospects indeed of an exciting NFL doubleheader next Sunday on CBS Sports. Bill Walsh and Joe Montana quietly talking things around. You know, in his sophomore year at Notre Dame trailed 30-10 in the 4th quarter against the Air Force, and Montana turned it around, and they won it 31-30. As a junior, he was down 24-14 to Purdue and pulled it out. 17-7 against Clemson and pulled it out. In his senior year, he beat Pitt in the 4th quarter, wiped out a 21-6 deficit against Southern Cal, only to lose on a late field goal. And in his college finale in the Cotton Bowl, he was down 34-12 with 10 minutes left and beat Houston 35-34. So you talk about comebacks. Joe Montana can do it. 2nd and 6. Montana, no good. Intended for Cooper. 38 seconds left.
One timeout left for both teams. San Francisco, of course, with the ball. That's very important. They got one left, and they got to try to save that for the field goal attempt.
Hey, Hank, coaching on the sidelines, does it tear you up to pieces of this kind of a game where you're so busy? I can see Malavasi, it's tearing him up.
Yeah, you really get involved. You're calling plays. You're concerned about defenses. You're concerned about a lot of things, and you really get involved with in this kind of a contest. No question about that.
3rd and 6 on the San Francisco 48. Montana with another big play. Flag on the play, and the pass to Dwight Clark. He's at the 40 to the 35-yard line. There was movement up front. Mike Fanning moved. However, whether he was drawn off or not remains to be seen. There are 2 flags down. Mike Fanning was the man moving. And, of course, for Ray Wershing, the ball is down at the Ram 35. They will pick up the flags. Offsides.
Offside. Number 79
That's
on
Mike
the defense.
Fanning.
Penalty is declined. 1st down.
So Fanning was guilty. They ignored, of course, Wershing waiting and waiting. What a tough time, the loneliness of the long-distance kicker. 1st and 10 on the Ram 35-yard line. 30 seconds left in the game. 31-30 Rams. Montana with Hofer and Cooper behind him.
Look at that middle area again.
Montana looking left, throwing left, and there's Dwight Clark. Pat Thomas finally brings him down at about the 21-yard line, and of course now they are very much in Wershing's range.
Oh, they surely are, and that time the defensive back was playing a little bit inside. For that reason, he broke outside. Looked like he was going to have an option to go either in or out. He chose the outside course. The ball was right on the money, and another big play for the San Francisco 49ers with 23 seconds left and 1 timeout.
And 1st and 10 on the Ram 20-yard line. Coming in off the bench is Eason Ramson. We haven't seen much of him today. Normally a tight end, but he brought in a play, and Charles Young and Dwight Clark. Young started to leave, then Clark started to leave. Well, Clark, you better get off before we have too many men on the field. All right, 1st and 10 from the 20. And Montana under heat, throwing while in the grass for the tackler. Cromwell and Sully were all over him as the pass goes out of bounds. Nolan Cromwell doing a great job along with Ivory Sully to down Joe Montana.
You know, that time they try to get a mismatch. Charlie Young, who was 6'4", on Rod Perry, who was 5'9", They try to throw it to him in the end zone. Didn't have enough time to do so, but I'm surprised that they wouldn't use Clark in that situation rather than Young, because Clark has more quickness and speed.
19 seconds left in the game, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to Ray Wersching, the 9-year man out of Cal. His longest 48, so he's well within his range. 2nd and 10 from the 20 for Montana. And he's going to stay on the ground to Cooper, and he runs into Jim Youngblood. So Youngblood dropped him, although Big Cooper did fight Youngblood off and get it down to about the 19. And look at the clock running down. And in a moment, they're going to ring Wersching's bell with 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2. And time called with 2 seconds left. Mr. Wersching,
it's all yours. You talk about mental toughness. Kickers have to have that. They don't get nearly the credit that they deserve. They're involved in winning or losing 4 to 6 games a year. They're in a situation right now where the whole thing hinges on whether they make a kick or whether they miss it. You talk about, again, mental toughness. They have it.
Our thanks indeed to executive producer Terry O'Neill, to our senior producer Charles Milton III, to our producer Mike Burks, and our director, Tony Verna, to Ozzie Lang for his information coming in on the right side, to Dennis Mnuchin for his spotting here in the booth, to Dr. Bob Woods and his statistical help throughout this most exciting afternoon. And particularly our thanks to the entire crew for giving us a marvelous telecast of a great game. 31-30 Rams. Ray Wersching, born in Austria, 5'11", 210-pounder, 31 years old, 9 years out of Cal. He's a CPA, and he's in charge with the most important points of the game. He was originally a free agent by Atlanta in '71. He went to San Diego in 1973. He came to San Francisco in 1977, and the spotlight is on him indeed. Ray Wersching is asked to kick the field goal. Montana will hold. The hold will be at the 27-yard line, so it is a 37-yard field goal for the whole ball game. The snap, the kick, it is up, it is good. The San Francisco 49ers have pulled it out.
Boy, what a great win.
Well, what this means is if Atlanta should lose tomorrow night, San Francisco has won this West.
Yeah, they've been an incredible team all year long. They've been such an opportunistic team. Today they get an interception for a touchdown. They get a kickoff return for a touchdown. They make things happen, and that's how they've won.
So Ray Wersching is the hero. San Francisco beats the Rams 33-31. Now for Hank Stram, this is Ben Scully saying so long from Anaheim Stadium. Once again, the final score, San Francisco 33, Rams 31. Be sure to be with us Thanksgiving Day. The Dallas Cowboys hosting the Chicago Bears, beginning with the NFL today at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, 12:30 Pacific. And on Saturday, CBS Sports presents a season premiere, NCAA basketball. This week, the Georgia Bulldogs visit San Francisco to take on the Dons. See it Saturday beginning at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. What an afternoon. And you've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the NFL.